we were fish swimming upstream. I mean, a sidewalk crowded with as many people, you know, just as far as you can see, with people as wide as you guys are. It was amazing. And so when the people were coming out, they told us the park police had estimated the crowd at 1.5 million, and I said, wait a minute, we're not even there yet, and there's still people back at the metro station waiting to get in. So they totally underestimated the crowd. They planned for 25 to 50,000 people.
What did the Times Dispatch say? 1,000? 2,000?
That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
I
There were
talked
1,000 on the sidewalk. I was walking on to get in at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You were there too.
You were there too. I talked to the park police on the way out, and they said this was the biggest event they had ever seen outside of a 4th of July, but this was the biggest political event they had ever seen. Much bigger than the inauguration or any other rallies, the Million Man March, etc. Exactly.
I bet we had a cleaner place when we left.
Yes, and
know
that's
you
the
did.
thing. I asked him, I said, how many arrests did you make? And he said, none. 0. And it was clean when we left. So he said, the one person that I talked to said they had talked to a police officer and they said, I don't even know why we're here. He says, we tell people, well, you need to go around this way or you need to go here. He says, and they do it. He said, they hadn't had any problems. Everyone was polite, respectful.
Because silent majority is finally waking up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We claim the greatest country in the world.
It's got to continue to grow.
Exactly.
That's what they
It's
think
only
we're
the
all
beginning.
away.
2 million people at a time.
Just keep talking to all your friends and neighbors, because there's people out there that don't know.
They all speak a
You know
different
what I
language
do
where
every
I
day? I'm
live.
kind of waiting to be arrested because they have all kind of legal things in place. Obviously, you cannot really talk to people or give some kind of printing material. So what I'm doing, I started kind of a little bit of crusade on my own because I didn't know whom to turn to. The distances are so awesome. It's like divide and conquer, like in Rome almost, right? So what I will start doing, if I find interesting article, I print it out on a printer. I probably will go broke pretty soon because of the ink and paper. But then I put it in a bag, and whenever I go to the doctor's office, to shop, anywhere, and I talk to people, wake up, that's what it is. I'm Russian, I'm telling you. You see, I've been there before. My great-grandparents are from Germany. So we know how it feels, how it smells. It is here. Wake up. And I'm giving up. And you know what? People very much interested and appreciative of this effort. Only one person kind of looked at me like that, you know, you also kind of, are you on drugs or something, and moved away. But you don't need these people. You know,
That's right.
you know, you can't do anything with them. So that's what it's my humble experience. I think that everybody will start waking up, talking and regaining the humanity in our community. We can do it. You see, that's what they're counting on. For us to be isolated, to be frightened of political correctness, right? Who is going to sue you? Sue me. Sue me, I don't have anything. Sue me all you want. You can even send my house on fire. Right? But reality is still the reality. It's not gonna go away. Thank you. I'm just so passionate about it.
Thank you.
I'd like to suggest that everyone stand behind Joe Wilson,
Yes.
commend him, call his office, give him kudos. We need to stand behind the Republicans who are the good Republicans and not the squishy guys. But there are still some really good Republicans up there.
We haven't
Would that
been
be
able to get
Cantor?
through to his office.
Yeah,
is the
you can
problem.
donate. Call Nancy Pelosi's office and tell her she needs to apologize to the CIA
Yeah.
before we get on with that.
No, when I was walking out of D.C. after the march, I met a guy who was had a stroller with 2 little kids, and I said, wow, you're brave to come in here with 2 little kids. And he said, oh, I only live a couple blocks away. And I thought, uh-oh, what do you do? Turns out it was Jim Ryan. He used to be a congressman from Kansas, and he said that back in 2006 he was rated the #1 most conservative congressman. Unfortunately, Kansas didn't choose to re-elect him, but we said, well, what do you think about this? And do you think it'll have any effect? And he said, I think it's a great start, but he said you really need to coalesce around a couple of causes and a couple of real points, because he says if everybody's out there on 15, 20 different issues, he said you're not going to have as much impact. So now the problem is trying to figure out, there's so much that they're throwing at us all at once that how do you choose 2 or 3 issues to, this is one.
I think this issue
but
that's been
there's
unfolding
healthcare.
the last 3 days is so powerful, and the money that's being given to this Acorn group,
Acorn.
that might be a good start to divide and conquer. If we can get behind the powers that are trying to look into that, and I really do believe that's a biggie. And I know healthcare is too, but I really believe that
there's
that's
so
going to
much.
bust things wide open. It already has, really.
Yeah.
That comes under the
But
heading of
when
corruption.
Charlie Gibson didn't even know what happens.
We'll probably find out that the Fed thing will come under the corruption. If you follow it on
Yeah.
best, you'll find out that some
That'll
Just
all
go
be-
back to the
it'll all be
90s.
connected.
Just go back to the 90s with the Fed. When Mexico was having its problems back in the 90s, they gave Mexico money back then. And the Congress couldn't do anything about it. Guess who was in charge at that time? Who became later the Citibank's CEO, who now became Paulson. No, not Paulson. He was Goldman Sachs. No.
Citibank's not the one now, it's Goldman Sachs, but follow the money. That's where the problem is.
Well, it all gets back to the Constitution. It comes back to the Constitution. For a long time, I lived with my apathy until I heard about Ron Paul. And I've decided I'm voting my principles. No more will I vote for the lesser of 2 evils. The lesser of 2 evils is still evil. And we've done that for so long. They've been conditioned, well, doesn't matter what I do, they'll vote for me anyway. We have to send a clear message that you will not get our vote if you're not living by the Constitution, if you're not honoring your oath of office to defend and protect the Constitution. They're employees for us. They work for us. And we have to demand more from them. We have to hold them accountable. We can't be complacent and just let them get away with it any longer. And I don't believe we are. I think we made a clear statement on Saturday that we've had enough.
I think they were.
And I'm sure they are. And it was awesome. I was marching from Freedom Plaza down Pennsylvania Avenue, and this helicopter comes over, and it was not real low, but pretty low enough to be so loud you couldn't even hear the chants of the crowd. And we all looked up and wondered, oh my gosh, And it was Obama. It was about the time. It was
Then he
Obama.
said he didn't see the crowd.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was flying over on his way to Michigan for a speaking engagement on healthcare.
We were up
I'd like to say to all of
Had
you,
your head in the same place he has his head, you wouldn't see it either.
Exactly. we were all the way up the Capitol and we saw it, so.
well, I'd like to tell you all real quick before I forget. I don't trust Ben.
Good enough.
No. Frank. I'm sorry.
Barney
Frank. I'm sorry. I hate him so much I can't even say his name.
You're in light
You
company.
have to make sure.
I don't trust Barney. Exactly. I don't trust him, but we have put enough pressure on him that he now says that there will be